that the Ethics Committee never found for stabilized apartments. No one said I broke any laws. No one said that the apartment that they considered two had always been considered one at the least. No one said that 10 years ago there was an apartment, one-bedroom apartment, that I got from my family, from my political friends that I no longer have. But the concern was, well, how do you explain the congressional office? Well, let's read the landlord's testimony. He said he was 20% vacant, that he needed money, that he knew that the checks were paid by the congressional committee, that the mail came in their Rangel for Congress, and that the lawyers have told him and the officials from the city and state of New York that there was no violation of any law or rules. And what was the benefit? The benefit was that your colleague and friend was not sensitive to the fact that there was appearances, though, I was being treated differently than anyone else. But the landlord said he didn't treat me any differently. No one said that they did treat me differently. But I have to admit that I wasn't sensitive to anything because I never felt then that I was treated any differently than anybody else. And so that ends the apartment thing, but I plead guilty of not being sensitive. Now when it comes to the negligence of the disclosures and the tax issues, there's absolutely no excuse that's there. When accusations were made, I hired a forensics accountant and told them to check out what the heck is going on, because I want to make certain that when I stand up and speak that it's true. Well, after I found out it was far more serious than the accusations, I then referred it to the Ethics Committee. It wasn't as though someone tracked me down, the IRS or the clerk of the House. I filed the correct papers. And the taxes that were paid, an accountant might say that, had my accountant recognized that this $32,000 down payment for a house in the Dominican Republic that was promised to be paid off in 7 years would be a complete failure. And if indeed they did not give me one nickel, but whenever they thought they were making a dollar or two, they reduced the mortgage, then there's no question, you don't have to be a tax expert to know that if you didn't report that income, notwithstanding the fact that if you'd done the right thing, you'd had no liability, because the taxes that were paid to the Dominican Republic would have been deducted, and with depreciation, I would have had no liability. Having said that, is that an excuse that's worthy? Of course not. And the fact that there was negligence on the part of the person that for 20 years did it, and the fact that I signed it, does not really give an excuse as to why I should not apologize to this body for not paying the attention to it that I should have paid to it. But there is not one scintilla bit of evidence that the negligence involved in the disclosures, that there was some way to hide from the public what I had. Because the value of the property, they would say, was $25,000, $100,000, $200,000, whatever it would be, that it didn't make any sense that I was trying to disclose it. So why did I take the floor today? I haven't found one lawyer that said I should do it. I haven't even found one friend that said I should do it. But I thought about it. If the lawyers are going to continue to charge me, and I don't even know when the hearing's going to be, and I can't tell them that I want one and not 6 lawyers. I don't want to offend the Ethics Committee. They're doing the best they can. But hey, I'm in a position.
Done. Members and their staffs will please take their conversations from the floor. Gentlemen may resume.
That hey, I'm 80 years old. All my life has been, from the beginning, public service. That's all I've ever done. Been in the Army, been a state legislator, been a federal prosecutor, 40 years here. And all I'm saying is that if it is the judgment of people here, for whatever reason, that I resign, then heck, have the Ethics Committee expedite this. Don't leave me swinging in the wind until November. If this is an emergency, and I think it is, to help our local and state governments out, what about me? I don't want anyone to feel embarrassed, awkward. Hey, if I was you, I may want me to go away too. I am not going away. I am here. And I do recognize that I'm not saying there's any partisanship in this, because if I knew of all the people that have been accused of accusations, I'm in a close district, and they were Republicans, I'd give a couple of moments of thought to see whether or not, especially if I didn't have anything to work with to get reelected, I would say, hey, take a look at these Republicans. They've been accused. But I don't really think that the unfairness of this is to me. I don't take it personally. I'm thinking about all of you. President wants dignity. Let's have dignity in this House where the Ethics Committee means something, and that none of you, if the newspapers say anything, will have to wait 2 years before you can say no comment. And in addition to that, once they make the accusations, they have no business making any mistakes in saying that I didn't cooperate. I got papers with my signature on. I got papers that said I tried my darndest. I got papers where my lawyer tells me she had every reason to believe that the full committee would sign on there. There was space for people to sign. I'm the only one signed. I don't know what changed their minds about settling this case. But my lawyer says don't offend them. My friends say don't go to the floor. And I say, what are you going to do me? Yeah? Suppose I do get emotional. Suppose I do think of my life, the beginning and the end. Are you going to expel me from this body? Are you going to say that, well, there's no evidence that I took a nickel, asked for a nickel, that there's no sworn testimony, no conflict, that I have to leave here? As much as I love you Democrats that figure it'd be easy for you, I'm the guy that was raising money in Republican districts to get you here. But it doesn't mean that I criticize you for saying, hey, that's great then, but I'm running for re-election now. I mean, do what you have to do. And Republicans, hey, you don't have much to run on, but, but what the hell? If Rangel is an embarrassment, based on newspaper articles, I can see why you would do it, but think, isn't this historically the first time that it appears as though partisanship is entered the Ethics Committee? Isn't historically the first time that the recommendations of the subcommittee of investigation is turned down? And Don, who in the heck would want somebody who politically called you corrupt to be the ranking bipartisan guy to judge you? Now, I don't expect answers today, and I know you're going home, and I wish all of you well. But at the end of the day, somebody has to do more than wish I go away. Somebody has to tell me, when does Rangel get a chance to talk to witnesses? I haven't talked with any member of the Ethics Committee. I haven't talked, in terms of settlement, my lawyers have. I haven't talked with any of the witnesses, and they had to expedite this case.